Hey, listener name, welcome back to the deep dive. You know when like your to-do list, it's more like a to-do novel at this point.
Oh, tell me about it.
Right. And your inbox is doing its best black hole impression, and your brain,
Yeah.
let's just say it's yearning for a vacation.
Yeah.
Well, today's deep dive is all about trading that chaos for a sense of like calm control. We're diving into David Allen's Getting Things Done.
Okay.
And let me tell you this book.
Yeah.
It's practically famous for helping people conquer their tasks without losing their minds.
Getting things done. What I think is so fascinating about this is it goes beyond just making lists.
What?
It's really about understanding how our minds work and like creating a system that plays to our strengths and not against them.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So we're not just talking about like color-coded sticky notes and elaborate filing systems here.
Not unless that works for you.
Okay.
The thing about getting things done is it's about building a system that you can trust, one that takes all those to-dos, ideas, and commitments that are swirling around in your head and turns them into actionable steps.
So it's like taking those mental sticky notes, the ones that always seem to fall off at the worst possible time.
Right.
And we're giving them like a permanent, reliable home.
Exactly. He calls it capturing.
Okay.
It's about getting everything out of your head and into a system that you trust. So that could be like a physical inbox, a digital to-do list, even a voice recorder.
Okay.
Whatever works for you. The key is just having a consistent place to capture all those like open loops.
You know, I actually read in the notes that you sent over that you use a digital system for work stuff, but a good old-fashioned notebook for your personal tasks.
Right?
Is that something that Alan recommends, having those different systems for different areas of your life?
Absolutely. The beauty of getting things done is that it is highly customizable.
Okay.
So the key is finding what works best for you and then sticking with it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So once we've captured everything, what's next? Do we just have this mountain of tasks staring back at us? Because that doesn't sound particularly stress-free.
That's where the processing stage comes in.
Okay.
So it's about taking all those things that you've captured and making clear decisions about what each item means and what action is required.
Okay.
And a key part of this, and I think you'll find this super helpful with your busy schedule, is the 2-minute rule.
Okay, 2-minute rule. I'm all about anything that saves time. Tell me more.
It's brilliantly simple. If an action takes less than 2 minutes to do, you just do it right away. You don't even write it down.
So we're talking those tiny tasks that feel like nothing, but somehow they add up to like a mental traffic jam in my brain.
Yes.
Answering a quick email, adding an event to the calendar, things like that.
You got it. And it's amazing how much mental clutter those little things create when we just let them pile up.
Yeah.
And so by tackling them immediately, we free up so much mental bandwidth for the bigger stuff.
That makes so much sense. It's like that saying, the way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time.
Right.
But in this case, it's more like the way to clear a mountain of tasks is 2 minutes at a time.
I like that. Okay, so for those tasks that require more than 2 minutes,
Right.
Alan suggests deciding whether to delegate them or defer them into your like organized system.
Okay.
And this is where the next actions list becomes your best friend.
Okay, so instead of one giant to-do list,
Yeah.
are we breaking things down into those actionable steps?
Yes.
But we're also being really specific about what that next action is.
Exactly.
Right.
And this is where getting things done, I think, really shines.
Right.
Because instead of writing down like plan vacation.
Right, which feels very vague and overwhelming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You would have research potential destinations online or like call travel agent to discuss dates.
Right.
You're creating those concrete actionable steps that you can actually take.
You know, I mentioned earlier that my brain feels like it's yearning for a vacation.
Sure.
And just hearing you say like research potential destinations, even in this context, already feels kind of exciting.
Right.
It's like that mental shift from a vague wish to something I could actually do.
That's the power of breaking things down.
Yeah.
And I know from your notes that you're juggling a lot with the podcast and your personal life.
Yeah.
This system can help you find that sense of control across all those different areas.
That's reassuring to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our next actions list.
Yes.
But what about those bigger picture things? I'm thinking like long-term goals, career aspirations, that kind of stuff. Does getting things done just ignore those?
Not at all. Remember how we talked about horizons of focus?
Yeah.
So it's not just about those immediate tasks.
Right.
It's about making sure that those tasks align with like your bigger vision.
Okay, so remind me about those horizons.
Okay, so think of it like this. You've got your daily tasks, right?
Yeah.
Responding to emails, making appointments.
Right.
That's like ground level.
Okay.
But then you zoom out
Okay.
and you see the bigger picture of your current projects.
Okay.
So maybe you're working on a big presentation or planning a launch for the podcast. That's
Right.
like your 10,000-foot view.
Okay, I can see how that helps put those daily tasks into context.
Right.
But what about even bigger picture stuff?
Then you zoom out further to, say, 20,000 feet.
Okay.
This is where you see your areas of responsibility.
Okay.
So managing the podcast, your personal life, maybe you've got some creative projects on the side.
Right.
This is about ensuring that all those individual projects fit into the bigger picture of your life.
So it's about connecting those daily actions to something more meaningful, making sure I'm not just spinning my wheels on things that don't ultimately matter.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it goes even further than that. He talks about those 30,000-foot, 40,000-foot, even 50,000-foot views.
Wow.
Thinking about your 1-year goals, 5-year goals, even your overall life purpose.
Wow.
He provides a framework for regularly reflecting on those bigger questions and making sure that your actions are aligned with your aspirations.
Wow, that's a powerful concept. I love how this system isn't just about getting more done. It's about getting the right things done, the things that truly matter.
It's about creating a life that feels both productive and fulfilling.
I am fully on board with that. So we've talked about capturing those to-dos, processing those tasks with that brilliant 2-minute rule, organizing them into actionable steps,
Right.
connecting them to our bigger goals. What's next? How do we actually, do it all?
That's where the doing stage comes in.
Okay.
And it might seem obvious,
Yeah.
but he really emphasizes the importance of making conscious choices about what to focus on at any given moment.
Conscious choices.
Yeah.
So we're not just
Yeah.
bouncing around like ping pong balls, reacting to whatever pops up for.
Exactly. It's about being intentional with our time and energy.
Okay.
He encourages us to consider our context, our available time, our energy levels, and our priorities when deciding what to tackle next.
So if I've only got 10 minutes before I have to jump on a call,
Yeah.
it's probably not the best time to tackle that big project that requires a lot of brain power.
Exactly. Maybe that's a good time to knock out a few of those 2-minute tasks.
Right.
Or process a few items from your inbox.
Mm.
And on the flip side, if you've got a solid 2 hours blocked off,
Right.
that's when you can really dig into those bigger, more demanding projects.
It's about working smarter, not just harder.
Exactly.
Making those intentional choices about how we spend our time and energy.
Yes.
This is making so much sense. But there's one thing I'm curious about.
Yeah.
You're saying we need to be making these conscious choices about what to focus on.
Yeah.
But isn't there value in sometimes just letting things flow?
Sure.
Going with the creative current, as they say.
That's a great point. Getting things done, it's not about being like a robot.
Right.
It's about creating a system that gives you the freedom to be both structured and spontaneous.
So it's like having a home base for all your thoughts and your tasks.
Right.
But you're not chained to your desk.
Exactly. Think of it like having a well-organized kitchen,
Okay.
where everything is, you have your go-to recipes, but that doesn't mean you can't improvise a delicious meal with whatever ingredients inspire you that day.
Okay. That's a fantastic analogy. I'm picturing my ideal kitchen right now.
Right.
And it's definitely sparking some joy.
Good.
But let's talk about those moments when things don't go according to plan.
You sure?
When unexpected projects kind of land on your plate or that brilliant idea pops into your head
Yes.
at the most inconvenient time.
Of course.
Because, let's face it, life rarely goes exactly as planned.
You're preaching to the choir, but that's where the real magic of getting things done comes in.
Okay.
Because you have this trusted system,
Right.
these unexpected things, they don't derail you.
Okay.
You can simply capture those new tasks or ideas, decide what needs to happen next,
Right.
and slot them right into your system.
So it's about staying flexible without losing your sense of control.
Precisely. Life throws those curveballs.
It does.
But instead of feeling overwhelmed, you have a system for catching them
Right.
and then deciding how to handle them.
Okay. That makes me feel way more prepared for whatever life throws my way. So we've covered a lot of ground today. We talked about capturing everything, processing those tasks with that brilliant 2-minute rule,
Right.
organizing them into actionable steps, connecting them to our bigger goals,
Yes.
and even staying flexible when life throws us a curveball.
Yeah.
What does this all mean for someone like me who's ready to dive in and experience that getting things done magic?
I think it boils down to making a commitment,
Okay.
not just to the system itself, but to the idea of being more intentional with your time and your energy.
So it's about embracing the system and trusting that it will work.
Exactly. And remembering that it's a journey, not a destination.
Okay.
It's about finding what works for you, tweaking it as you go, and enjoying that feeling of control and clarity that comes with having a system that you trust.
I have to admit, I was a little bit skeptical at first.
Sure.
I mean, another productivity system,
Right.
but this actually feels different.
Yeah.
It's not about adding more to my plate. It's
Yeah.
about finding that sense of peace amidst the chaos.
That's exactly what getting things done is all about. And I
Yeah.
think once you experience that sense of like calm control,
Yeah.
there's no going back.
Well, I don't know about you, but I am feeling incredibly inspired to go tackle my inbox, my to-do list, and maybe even start planning that vacation.
Yeah.
Who knew that organization could be so empowering?
It's amazing what happens when we give ourselves permission to let go of that mental clutter
Yeah.
and embrace a system that actually works.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this final thought. What area of your life could benefit from a little more getting things done magic? And what's the very next action you can take to make that happen? Remember, even small steps can lead to big changes. Until next time, happy organizing.